Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahleali in this incarnation, and today I wanted to talk about one of the shadows of the energy of Scorpio. But before I continue, I wanted to clarify something. And it is that every time that I'm talking about the elevated energy or the shadow of a sign, I'm not talking about the people, because the people are their whole set of energies in their natal chart, and the way they are going to express those energies will depend on the consciousness with which they are acting. So we cannot use this information to generalize. And it's important to say that people who have a lot of planets in Scorpio or important positions of Pluto, they could have done a great labor of alchemy. So these shadows don't represent them. And on the other hand, this is an experience that could be felt by people of other signs. So said that, the shadow is linked with resentment, and in its low frequency could be linked with desires of revenge even. So resentment is always linked with experiences of the past, because that's why it is called that way. Resentment is refilling something. So as the shadow of Taurus, which is because they are a complementary axis, as the shadow of Taurus is linked with attachment to material possessions many times and accumulation, then in Scorpio, this is more linked with an attachment of emotional aspects and an energetic attachment. So when the energy is focused and concentrated in experiences of the past, they are brought to the present, and they can create this illusion of stagnancy because we are not flowing with what the present is. So this is an imbalance, and the consciousness starts to operate when we are able to recognize that, if it's operating in our lives. So the other day I was explaining, and I'm going to leave that video in the description with another one that is linked with this theme, that when we are giving excessive energy without putting a healthy boundary to ourselves, this could cause resentment that unconsciously could be projected to the outside. But also when we experimented situations in the past in which we felt attacked or someone caused a harm, in quotation marks. And why quotation marks? Because no matter what, if those people had a real intention, I mean, they did it consciously or not, they consciously caused a harm to us. What is important is that point where we feel attacked is hiding fear and pain. So the energy wasn't flowing correctly already in first place, and that's why the external scene is projected to the outside, so we can bring that to consciousness, to accept it, to integrate it, and to rebalance it. So a great example that I could give is something that I mentioned in a lot of videos, and is infidelity. When someone is unfaithful, is cheating on another person, I'm not justifying the actions of an unfaithful person, but it's important to say that the person that is deceived actually have sustained an unfaithfulness with themselves. So that's why the infidelity is projected on the outside. And other example that I could give is something that I think I told you in another video. But 12 years ago, more or less, I experimented eating disorders. So every comment of my physical appearance, especially the negative ones, affected me a lot. And that happened a lot in first place because the imbalance was already there. So there are a lot of people that are working on themselves, trying to heal, and trying to be conscious of their energies. But of course, there are a lot of people that are not doing that work, and that could project their own imbalances. So I think the labor is in giving entity to the things that are really useful for us. But if a situation have a great emotional impact, definitely that situation is showing us something in which we have to work on. So that's why it's very important to focus on the energy of resentment, because this could be projected on other sins on the outside or other people. And every time that we could act in distorted ways, this is because the mind is operating without the guidance of the soul, and this permanent connection is actually a great labor in which most of us are very imperfect in a very compassive way. I'm saying this. So we have to keep practicing and doing the work. And back to the present, this is an anger that emerges because we are bringing this experience of the past and we are causing this suffering again to us. And many times this happens because we didn't extract the light of that situation, I mean the sense. So it's important to ask to ourselves, what is this scene reflecting me? And if we are not finding an answer, because many times the answer comes in the right moment when we are receptive to receive it, something that is important to take in account is that resentment only can continue when we are feeding that resentment with our focus, mental focus, and emotional. So at those moments, we have to practice presence to do this. We should take distance from that situation and remember ourselves that we have the power to give our attention to things that are expanding us, that are connecting us with healing or with love, or we could give our attention to things that are harming us. So the power of choosing is always in ourselves. So eventually, when we are not giving attention to those situations anymore, the energy will be restored. So I just wanted to leave this message today. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.